The legal drama surrounding former President Donald Trump has taken another significant turn as the special counsel appointed to investigate his handling of classified documents has filed an appeal. This move signals the ongoing complexities and high stakes involved in the case, which has captivated the nation and raised serious questions about national security, executive authority, and the rule of law. The appeal aims to challenge a recent court ruling that could have substantial implications not only for Trump, but also for how classified information is handled by future administrations. As this case unfolds, it promises to be a defining moment in the ongoing scrutiny of Trump's post-presidential conduct and the broader legal principles at play. The investigation into Donald Trump's handling of classified documents began after reports revealed that he took sensitive materials home from the White House in January 2021. These documents, meant to be turned over to the National Archives, were instead found at Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida, raising concerns about the mishandling of classified information. In August 2022, the FBI conducted a highly publicized raid on Mar-a-Lago, seizing numerous documents, some marked top secret. This raid sparked controversy, with Trump and his supporters claiming it was a politically motivated attack, while critics insisted it was necessary to uphold the rule of law. To ensure impartiality, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed a special counsel to determine whether Trump's actions breached national security protocols or violated federal laws. The special counsel, led by a seasoned prosecutor, has been meticulously reviewing the evidence gathered during the investigation. This includes analyzing the nature of the documents seized, how they were handled, and whether there was any intention to conceal or misuse the information. The investigation has faced several legal challenges, with Trump's legal team contesting the validity of the search warrant and arguing that the documents are protected by executive privilege. Recently, a lower court ruled in favor of Trump's legal arguments, agreeing that some of the documents in question might be covered under executive privilege, thus limiting the special counsel's access to them. This ruling was seen as a setback for the investigation, prompting the special counsel to file an appeal. The appeal aims to overturn the lower court's decision, arguing that executive privilege does not apply in this context, especially given the national security implications. The special counsel's appeal centers on two key legal arguments. First is the issue of executive privilege. Trump's legal team argues that as a former president, Trump has the right to assert executive privilege over certain documents, claiming this is necessary to protect the confidentiality of presidential communications and to allow presidents to receive candid advice. However, the special counsel argues that executive privilege cannot be used to shield potential wrongdoing, especially when it involves the mishandling of classified information. They contend that the privilege is meant to protect the functioning of the executive branch, not to block investigations into criminal behavior. Moreover, they argue that Trump's claim to executive privilege is weaker now that he's out of office, particularly when the current administration does not support his claims. The second key argument is national security. The special counsel argues that the classified nature of the documents takes precedence over executive privilege. The appeal emphasizes the risks associated with mishandling sensitive information, including the potential compromise of intelligence sources, methods, and overall national security. The argument is that protecting national security interests should override claims of executive privilege, particularly when there is evidence that the classified information was not properly handled. This case has far-reaching implications for the concept of presidential power and accountability. If the courts ultimately rule in the favor of Trump's claims of executive privilege, it could set a precedent that allows former presidents to shield their actions from legal scrutiny, potentially even in cases involving national security. Such a ruling could have significant consequences for the balance of power between the branches of government and the accountability of the executive branch. Conversely, if the appeal by the special counsel is successful, it could establish a legal precedent that limits the scope of executive privilege, particularly for former presidents. This could reinforce the principle that no one, not even a former president, is above the law, and that accountability and transparency are essential components of the U.S. legal system. The outcome of this case could redefine the boundaries of executive privilege and set new standards for how classified information is handled by current and future administrations. The special counsel's appeal carries significant political weight. Trump supporters view the investigation as a politically motivated effort to block his potential 2024 presidential run, arguing it's an attempt by the Justice Department to undermine him. They see it as part of a broader campaign to tarnish his legacy. Conversely, Trump's critics believe the investigation is crucial for upholding the rule of law, arguing that mishandling classified documents poses a national security risk. They insist that Trump must be held accountable if he broke the law, regardless of his status as a former president. This appeal will likely deepen the partisan divide, with each side interpreting the proceedings to fit their narrative. The outcome could impact Trump's viability as a 2024 presidential candidate and sway undecided voters on his suitability for office. As the appeal process unfolds, both sides will present their arguments to the appellate court. The special counsel's team will emphasize the importance of access to all relevant documents to conduct a thorough investigation, highlighting the national security risks involved. Trump's legal team will continue to assert claims of executive privilege, arguing that the rights of former presidents must be protected to maintain the integrity of the office. The appellate court's decision will not only determine the direction of the investigation, but could also set the stage for a possible showdown in the Supreme Court. Given the constitutional questions involved, including the limits of executive privilege and the scope of presidential immunity, the case may ultimately be decided by the highest court in the land. A Supreme Court ruling would provide a definitive answer to the legal questions at the heart of the case and set a precedent for future administrations. The appeal has drawn significant public interest, with media outlets closely following the developments. The case touches on issues that resonate with the public, including the integrity of the presidency, national security, and the principles of justice and accountability. As the case progresses, media coverage will likely intensify, with analysts and commentators offering a range of perspectives on the legal and political implications. Public opinion may be shaped by how the case is presented in the media, with narratives emphasizing either the protection of presidential powers or the need for accountability and transparency. The outcome of the appeal and the broader investigation could influence public trust in the justice system and the perception of whether the law is applied equally to all individuals, regardless of their status. The special counsel's appeal in the Trump classified documents case is more than just a legal battle. It is a defining moment in American legal and political history. The outcome will have significant implications for the balance of power between the branches of government, the scope of executive privilege, and the accountability of public officials. It will also test the resilience of the U.S. legal system in upholding the rule of law and protecting national security. As the appeal process unfolds, the nation will be watching closely, aware that the decisions made in this case could shape the future of presidential power and accountability for years to come. Whether the courts side with the special counsel's arguments or uphold Trump's claims of executive privilege, the ramifications will be felt far beyond the courtroom, influencing the political landscape and the principles that underpin American democracy. We'll be following these developments and more, so stay tuned for the latest updates.